Welcome to the GSD podcast. I am your host, the Wizard of Iz, and welcome to this year's New Year special. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve, so I know some of us are ready to end the year and get a new year started, while some of us had a great year and not ready to start the new year. Me and my family, we have actually moved twice in the last year. We sold our house at the end of 2021 to make some changes, and in 2022, we've moved from an apartment to a townhome, and now we're just keeping an eye on housing prices like most people are. So we're looking to 2023 and see what happens, but there's been some big things in 2022. Besides me launching this podcast and different things going on with work and career, my wife also launched a children's book. I'm going to have her on the show in future episodes coming up early in the new year as well. And there's been some great things that have happened. And one thing that I think is super important that I do at the end of every year, and this is what I want to bring to you guys, is no, not New Year's resolutions, setting goals and making lists. Okay. If any of you have been following me for a while, you will know back in 2018, 2019, I actually started a YouTube channel, and that quickly got put on pause when my business and career started taking off. But I had a video back then, and it was like New Year's resolutions versus setting goals and making lists. And I think it's very impactful and important, especially as a business owner or a contractor looking into the new year, because in business, if you're setting goals, you have something to work to. And when you have something to work to, you get rid of busy work. Busy work is not usually productive work. I want to take you back a moment. This is something that happened when I first started working for a client 6 years ago. I went into this job as a contractor and as a flat rate, so it's a flat rate to produce videos for this client. And then what happened is, so the client felt like they were getting a good value and I was getting a good value. We kind of came up with an hourly range too, saying, hey, 4 to 6 hours a week, that's what I expect to give you work-wise. And as long as you fall in that 4 to 6 hours, I feel comfortable with how much I'm going to pay you for the contract. And I was like, sure. So in the beginning, it started off great. 1 week might have been 4.5 hours. Another week was 5. 1 week was 4. And then when I got more comfortable, some weeks was 3 to 3.5. But the client felt like, hey, if I'm paying you X amount for 4 to 6 hours, I feel like I'm getting gypped at 3 to 3.5. So I said, well, hang on a second. I'm just becoming more productive and getting my work done quicker. But that doesn't mean the value has changed, which this is something we'll get into later on in future episodes. I was like, my value hasn't changed. I just got quicker. And I said, I shouldn't be penalized because I'm quicker by throwing more work at me. I'm not an employee of the business. I'm a contractor. So I started to see that. And what happened is the client started giving me busy work, just work to do, and I'm like, well, this isn't productive. This isn't what I want to do. This isn't helpful. It's just busy work. Yeah, but it's filling the time, they would tell me. Well, I don't need to fill the time though. So we went back and forth. Let's just say we ended up fixing it, came to a good solution later on. But because I got better and more productive, I got busy work. The point of that story is we don't want busy work. If you set lists and goals and have clear expectations of what you want to do, you will never do busy work. Your work will always be productive in what you're doing. So I always say it's good to set lists and make goals, not New Year's resolutions. Because let's talk about it. Most of the time, New Year's resolution has a bad connotation to it. I don't know how many of you out there go to the gym every day, but I guarantee you that first month of January every year, that gym triples in the amount of people there. And then by February, it's cut in half. And then by March, it's cut in half again. And then next thing you know, by April, it's back to the amount of people who are normally there. New Year's resolutions, I feel like we just don't stick with because some of our New Year's resolutions are changes we don't want, but we think we should do. So I say, you know what? Forget resolutions. I'm guilty of breaking some myself. I say lists and goals. So let's look at this as a business. There's two types of goals, I would say. There's ongoing goals and terminal goals. Terminal means it's something that's going to end. Ongoing means it never stops. So let's actually use typical resolutions. A lot of people are like, I'm going to get healthy this year. Well, getting healthy, going to the gym, that's an ongoing goal. That's something you're going to constantly do every month. A terminal goal, something that might end, might be like, hey, I want to buy a new car this year. So you're going to save money or put money aside to buy that car. Once you buy the car, it's done. So there's two types of goals. And in your business, you should have some ongoing goals. You should have some terminal goals. So what I say to you guys, hey, we're coming into the new year. Make some lists and goals for your business. So what I like to do is I like to create a yearly goal. What's that goal? What's your yearly goal? Is it a monetary value? Do you want to change a service? Do you want to bring on employees? Do you want to bring on contractors? Do you want to move location? Set your yearly goal. So at the end of the year, that is your goal. You might hit it sooner, but the idea is set it as your yearly goal. Then set a 6-month goal. Your 6-month goal, you should look at that and say, okay, if I hit this milestone by month 6, I'm in line to hit my yearly goal. Figure out what that is. And then make monthly goals. Where do I have to be this month to hit my goal next month, to hit my goal the month after, to then hit my 6-month goal? And then set weekly goals. What do I have to do this week to hit my monthly goal? But the most important thing is you need to start with the end to know where to begin. So figure out your end. Like, what do you want to do this year? I know for me, I'll just talk about this podcast. For me, I want to, grow this podcast greatly. I want this podcast to triple in listeners. I want to grow the community double, that people are in, that I'm helping out and involved in. I want to get the podcast on YouTube. I want to do all these things. So that is my end goal at the end of 2023. So I'm going to slowly start to bring back all these ideas. So for an example, by the 6-month mark, if I want to, let's say, triple the listeners, I need to maybe by the 6-month mark, double the listeners. If I want to start a YouTube channel, maybe by the 6-month mark, I want to at least have videos up on the YouTube channel. If not all of them, some of them, and then I backtrack. And that I think is the most important because you don't know where to go unless you set that end goal. So once you set that end goal, you can back off and do your other goals. So what I would say to you is start with your yearly goal, then do your 6-month goal, then do your monthly goals and your weekly goal. So once you start to hit those, you're going to be in a great standing to hit your main yearly goal. And that's going to get rid of unproductive work. That's why I talked about early in the episode. Unproductive work is the biggest drain of your motivation. For example, if you're just doing unproductive work, you're doing work, but what's the point of it? I'm guilty of that, guys. I can't tell you how many times I've gone on my website and tweaked things and changed a picture because I had free time. And I was like, why did I do that? That's not changing how many visitors I get. It's not changing conversions. It's not changing anything. It was just work because I felt like I needed to work. It was a weekday and I was slow on work. And I just felt like I needed to do something. No, I could have taken that time for something more productive or even just free time to myself. So setting these goals will lead to more productive work. And then make a list. Make a list. It's similar than goals, but make a list of just maybe all the things you want to check off this year. I want to do this. I want to do that. Maybe for this podcast, hey, I want to purchase new equipment. I want to pay for this. I want to pay for that. And here's my list. Well, let's just say purchasing new equipment's on the list. Well, to do that, I got to get money. So to do that, I got to grow my base. So if I start focusing on my goal of growing my base, I should be able to bring in revenue, which I should be able to chop that off my list. So going into the new year, try not to look at resolutions anymore. Sometimes it's just got a bad vibe to it. Look at lists and goals. Set goals for yourself. Set goals for your business life. Set goals for your personal life. Set goals for your hobbies, things you enjoy doing. Break those down monthly and then make lists of also things you want to check off. This will keep you aligned and make you feel like everything you're doing is productive. Because the biggest killer, I think, is unproductive work. Just working to work. There's no point to just work to work. You work to hit a goal, Life's about living. Life's not about working. What's the saying always go? We work to live, not live to work. So work to live. Don't be busy work. Be productive by listing out what you want to do. And that's what I'm going to do right after today's episode. I'm going to create my list. I'm going to put it up so I can be held accountable for what I do. And I recommend you guys give it a shot too. So I hope all of you have a safe and happy New Year's. Best of luck to all of you out there in 2023. Always check out the website, thewizardofviz.com. I'm there. You can donate to the show. The show does cost money, and it does take time to put together, so I appreciate any donations that come in. Also, you can join our closed private Patreon group where like-minded individuals like yourself. We get together, we talk more, we have bonus episodes and other features. Also, as a business, you can actually sign up for a tier and have ads put on the show, and your ad can be on the show. So check that out. You can read some of the blogs that are on there, more content based on what's here, and there's a lot more to come from the GSD podcast in 2023. So I thank you all who have been listening so far. Have a great, happy new year, and I will see you all in 2023.